Hello, my name is Eric Heffinger. I am the advisor of Grizzlies Abroad, our foreign travel program here at Wadsworth High School. Thank you for wanting some more information about our upcoming trip, which is to Greece, Athens, and the Aegean, which will be in the summer of 2025. We'll be going June 5th through June 14th. For me, travel is an important part of my life. It is it's how I learn the best. Myself, I got to Europe as fast as I could when I was 18 years old. I slept on couches, but I used whatever money I could just to get there and learn about things that I could only dream about. In college, I traveled the entire United States. I tried to visit every state. I've been to 40 so far. I'm working on getting to 50. And now that I'm a teacher, I want to take students out to experience things they never thought they'd be able to see in real life. Right now, for most kids, this is just history. It's from a book. We can take them there. We can have a hands-on experience, a memorable experience that will last with them for a lifetime. This trip specifically is to Athens for 4 nights, and then we will be setting out on a cruise of the Greek islands for 4 more nights. And we also have travel days booked in there as well. We will start our trip in Athens, and we will look through the old neighborhoods. The Plaka district is where we will start. If I butcher these names, I am so sorry. I do not know the Greek language at all, so bear with me. I am learning as we start this trip. We will also be able to visit the ancient Greece, right? So the Olympian temple of Olympian Zeus and the Hadrian's Ark. Hadrian was a former emperor of Rome. So his time period there. We're going to jump and we're going to see a lot of different things. We're going to see, the world before Roman Empire. We're going to see the creation of civilization. We're going to see post Roman Empire. We're going to see medieval things that were happening in the area. So, I mean, it's going to jump at every time period possible. We're going to go to the Acropolis, right? One of the most famous sites in the world, and to the Parthenon specifically. Just a temple that I think everyone has seen and has dreamed of going to someday. But like I said, all time periods will be covered. We will be going to modern day Greece as well, or Athens, to see how the people live today and experience their life and culture. Also, when we are on the mainland of Greece, we are going to go to Delphi, and then we will get on our cruise and we will head out to there I think are 100 some islands in Greece, and we are going to be stopping at 4 of them. But these are the 4 most well known. So we got the Mykonos. I think it's Mykonos. And then we will be headed over to Turkey. So while this is the Greece trip, we will be spending 1 day in Turkey. We will not be spending the night there, but we will be visiting at Kusadasi. Got to work on this. I told you. But this whole area used to be Greece at one point, and so before the Turkish Revolution, creating their own country there, this was part of ancient Greece. This is also not too far away from where they unearthed the original city of Troy from the Hellenic Wars. We will be visiting the island of Patmos, and then we will head down to Rhodes. You may remember this as the famous site of the Colossus of Rhodes, a giant statue where you had a man straddling over part of the island. It was one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world that's been lost to us. But this is where the Colossus stood at one point. And then we will head down to Crete, and then Santorini, which is, the picturesque Greece that we all think of on this volcanic hillside, these beautiful whitewashed buildings with the beautiful blue domes. Then we'll head back to Athens, where we'll get a chance to visit Poseidon's temple before packing up and heading home. And that is the briefest overview I can give you here. This is 10 days, every minute packed with information and learning. This is a go, go, go kind of trip. This is not a lounging on the beach so much trip. It is, we are going to learn so much from these people and these different time periods. We have chosen Explorica as our company to go through. The Explorica is the one that books the flights for us. It provides us with the travel, so that in this instance, it will be a bus and the boat. It will also provide for us a tour guide that will meet us at the airport and stay with us the entire way through the trip. This tour guide will speak the language of the country and is a professional in all the sites that we're going to. So if the students have questions of someone that we cannot answer, because some of this is brand new for us too, we are learning too. We have none of the teachers that are in charge of this trip have been to Greece before. they can help answer those questions for us or point us in the right direction so we can go find those answers. And if there's an issue, we have to change the itinerary, something gets closed, bus breaks down, whatever it may be, this person is the one that goes above and beyond to make sure that we can find the sources to make sure that the trip continues. I've used Explorica now for 3 trips that I've planned. One to Peru, one which was last spring break, which was to Italy, France, and Spain, and then one that we planned that was from a road trip from Prague down to Venice, and that one got canceled because of COVID. But through all of this, Explorica has been exceptional in working with us and the students to make sure that they get the tour that they asked for, and that if there is an issue, they work with fixing that and then making sure that the money is taken care of on their end and your end as well. They have a 24-hour security line that be called. If you need something from them, you can call them. A student can call them. I could call them, whoever it may be. And we have that person with us at all times that works for Explorica. So what is all traveled, or what is all included in this travel trip? Try to move my face out of the way here once I get all these things. My apologies. There we go. So with this trip, you get round trip airfare. You get 4 nights in the hotel with private bathrooms. You get a 4-day cruise with private cabins. You get breakfast and dinner every day. And on the cruise ship, it also includes lunch and unlimited drink packages. You also have a full-time service, a professional tour guide. You have entrance fees to all the attractions that we visited. And we get guided sightseeing tours and city walks of modern-day cities and ancient portions as well that you will be informed. You don't have to just read the plaques there. We hire literal people that work at these establishments to help us through it and answer our questions. They also offer a thing called a tour diary, which updates you as the parent every single day on where your student is and what they are learning about. We will do that as well, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Cost. Here's the one thing that everyone wants to know, right? The big thing. How much does this trip cost? For everything that we just talked about, the cost this year is $4,991. That is a starting price, and that was what they call the $150 scholarship. So before February 9th, the price is $4,991. If you use the travel code TRAVEL4R at checkout, TRAVEL4R, it's the one in red right there. After February 29th, the price does go up $150 on that trip. The travel company does this as an incentive to try to get people to sign up early so they get a discount and buying their stuff for the museums and interest early. So that's what that's about. It will continue to go up as long as we have openings on the trip that are available. This portion that I'm kind of covering up with my head is talking about payment plans. You can start one for $50 down and then be charged monthly until you hit the amount, the $4,991 that it costs for this trip. Obviously, the sooner you sign up, the smaller those monthly payments are because it's taking the same price and dividing them up between those months between now and the trip. We encourage everybody that's going on the trip to sign up for the Travel Protection Plan Plus. It is their highest option, is an extra $240. When you were looking at the overall price of this, though, $240 is minimal compared to the almost $5,000 that we're talking about right here for this trip. And a year and a half or so is a long time from now. A lot can happen that you might decide that we cannot do this trip at this point. This Plus plan provides you the option of canceling for any reason. There is a lower level to this that has severe restrictions. It's $160, and it has a lot of restrictions for how and why you can cancel, and you have to provide sources and why you're canceling and whatnot. The $240 is cancel for any reason and get the vast majority of your money back. We have had families that have used this Travel Plus protection program before, and it has worked well. They've gotten their money back. They have been very satisfied by the fact, not so much that they had to cancel the trip, but that when they did cancel the trip, it worked out. They weren't, hosed by the fact that they didn't get their money back or anything like that. One of the big parts of this trip is that everyone's concerned about is the safety of the trip. What do we do? Well, first off, your student will be with a Wadsworth High School staff member for the entire trip. We have a 5-to-1 ratio. So for 5 students, we have 1 chaperone that is going with them. And this chaperone is in charge of that student the entire trip. That doesn't mean that this student can't interact with the rest of the students in the trip or anything like that. It just means that that is their check-in person. That is who they work with. And every place that we go, every museum with that person will go with them to where they need to be and make sure that they are at their right location and getting back onto the bus or the boat or whatever it is that we're doing. So we always have eyes on our students at the whole time. We also have the Explorica network. So they have people in each country that we are going to that we can reach out to for resources. We have our embassies as well. And then we have our local person that's going with us to help us translate if we are having problems and make sure that we can get to any emergency facilities or whatever it may be if there is a problem. Thankfully, we have not had that issue, but to make sure we're going above and beyond that, we have the support here in case a student needs that. For you as parents, told you, we talk about this later, they have that travel guide that they offer, but we also do as well. We can give constant updates and ways for you to communicate with us. All of the chaperones that are going on this trip must have a cell phone plan that is international that you can call us or we can call you at any time of the day, anywhere. So we are able to connect with you. If there's an issue on your end or our end, we can connect with you. We will also be using the Remind network, which is what the school uses when it sends out text messages like school closings and stuff like that. We use the exact same thing, and we can send out notices to you when we're getting on flights. If anything is delayed, we have landed, here's we are, so that all parents know at the exact same time we have successfully made it to our destinations and what's going on. We also use Facebook and Instagram at Grizzlies Abroad for updates on when our meetings are, and so that you are informed about what's going on day to day while we're on the trip. We'll update pictures, where we've been, stuff like that, so you can see what's going on. We also have a brand new webpage. If you go to Wadsworth City Schools website, under schools, click on Wadsworth High and then click on student activities, and there you'll find Grizzlies Abroad. We'll be posting a lot of stuff on there. I'm posting this video on there, so you may be finding it that way, or you may be getting this in email, but this is where we'll be using all of our information so you can go forward if you're looking for us again. How to enroll? That website, explorica.com/Heffinger, that's me, -5984. That is the easiest way to do it. You can also talk to someone on the phone if you've got questions at Explorica. You can talk to me. I can't do the money process with you. That's why we hire Explorica. This is a lot of collected money between all the people and whatnot, so we feel comfortable using a travel company to do this instead of myself. There also is a mail portion, but I mean, I'm telling you, between the phone and the online, it's much easier to do it this way. If you are signing up, the things that we ask you to do, get your passport ASAP and then start planning to come to the Grizzly Abroad meetings. We'll be a little bit before we start having these meetings, but we plan to have at least 3 or 4 meetings before we leave for the trip in which your student can learn more about where we're going, about the culture of the country, and getting to know each other because we're going to be traveling together in some tight quarters. Right? We're going to be on this bus and boat together every single day for 10 days. It's nice to know who you're traveling with. And we also try to have a dinner a couple times too, just as a lighthearted way. It's not always just a class, but that's a big part of it. This is about learning. It's an educational opportunity, but it's in a very hands-on, fun way that sticks with you the rest of your life. I also want to point out that we have a second trip plan. This is the first time we've ever done this, 2 trips back-to-back in a row. We're giving this a try. Our next trip is 2026, and we are going to Ecuador for the Amazon rainforest in Galapagos Islands. This will be a very science and Spanish-based adventure program, is what we're calling it. We're involving our AP environmental science classes, and we're going to the Amazon rainforest to learn about the animals that live there, the people that live there. We're going to explore Quito, the beautiful capital of Ecuador, and learn about the culture of the people. We're going to go climb a volcano. We're going to do some whitewater rafting. We're going to snorkel with tropical fish. We're going to fly out to the Galapagos Islands, and we're going to study at the Charles Darwin Research Center, where he discovered natural selection. We're going to go see the tortoises, the famous tortoises of the island, and watch them at the breeding centers and whatnot they have there. So it's a very science-based program, very out there, like you want to hike galore, very different than the Greece trip that we are doing. So 2 very different options. We have not had a meeting on Ecuador yet. We plan to do that after spring break as we're finishing finalizing the plans for this Ecuador trip. But I do want you to know it's an option for you and your students. If you are a student, so that you can consider which of these trips you may want to go on. So 2025, Greece, 2026, Ecuador, they are both in June. They are only available to Wadsworth High School students, though, and you have to be an active student to join. So if you graduate in 2025, you are eligible for the Greece trip, but 2025 graduates are not eligible for the 26 trip, if that makes sense. Okay, so you have to be an active that school year that the trip is going in. This also means that if you are currently a 7th or 8th grader in the 23-24 school year, by the time you get to the high school, you will be an active member. So some 7th graders now, if they're interested, could sign up for this trip because they will be 9th graders. They'll be ending their 9th grade year by the time we leave for Ecuador in 2026. Something to think about, just some more options for you. We will not be taking any adults on these trips anymore. We will have chaperones, but school policy has changed and we are not allowed to take family members. So this will be solely Wadsworth City School students and chaperones. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. My email address is eheffinger@wadsworthschools.org. I'll get back to you as soon as possibly can. But thank you for your interest in the trip, and I hope to see you in Greece.